Hey y'all, it's me, Kimberly Clark. Welcome back to my channel. I know I've been gone for a bit, but here I am. Wow. I am here today with a update video, like a life update, a little Q&A. Also gonna, just for old time's sake, anti-haul a couple of things. A little Q&A anti-haul, a little Q&A anti-haul. If you don't know who I am, I'm Kimberly Clark. I'm a drag queen here on YouTube. I'm in New Orleans. This is where my beauty room is. Hey. I also am a performer out of drag, Tony Award winning performer in David Byrne's American Utopia. We're coming back to the St. James Theater this time on Broadway in about a month. Ooh, wow, very exciting. So I asked my patrons over on Patreon to ask me questions. What do you want to know? What do you want to be updated about in my life? If you want to be more involved in me and help support me in a more direct way, please become a patron of mine on Patreon. It's $1 per video. You could pledge more than $1 per video if you want, but everybody's equal. There's no levels anymore. It's just whatever you can do to help me out. It really helps me out. It gives me incentive and means to, make sure these videos are of as high quality as I possibly can muster. And so I just want to say, before I even start, thank you to my patrons out there that have been sticking with me all these years. Just tickles my little drag soul. Makes me really feel real. You make me feel mighty real. All right, so let's just go. Let's answer some Q's for y'all. Wow, welcome to my Q&A! What was your favorite memory from being forced to stay inside because of the pandemic? So, okay, out of the people that I know, I was like maybe one of the more cautious folks in terms of isolating. It felt really weird to kind of not do anything for a whole fucking year. And I am glad I did that. And if you also did that, if you were isolated, really isolated, and, were able to get by and survive, I mean, thank you. You were able to help protect other people that weren't able to isolate, people that were maybe more vulnerable for getting COVID. I'm just echoing what Amber Ruffin said in this really powerful segment she did, which I'll link to. It really made me feel a lot better, to kind of just know that the sacrifices that we made were worth it. And right now I'm vaccinated. I'm in Louisiana. We're having a surge of the Delta variant, and I'm back inside. Oh my God. Anyway, but my favorite memory from all of this isolation, way back at the beginning of all of this, for Passover, my friend Ariel Goldberg, who's a really incredible poet and photographer and artist, organized a kind of queer Seder on Zoom for Passover. They had everyone kind of do different things, really great readings, really great art, and I was tasked to sing Dayenu. So I sang Dayenu, which if you're not familiar with a Seder and the songs, it's kind of the big party. It's the showstopper of a Seder. It's like the 11 o'clock number of the Seder. And so I knew this going in. I felt like a lot of pressure. I had looked up all the lyrics and everything online, and it's like, oh, it's not that hard. It's in Hebrew. And then Ariel sent me some lyrics and was like, oh, here are the lyrics. And they were in Yiddish. And I was like, oh, this is like way harder than the Hebrew ones that I've been learning. Okay, I'll just give it a try. And I really tried. I did my darndest, and hilariously, they were like, oh my God, I didn't know it was in Yiddish. Like, no one sings it in Yiddish. Like, we always... So I did like the advanced beginner Yiddish version of Dayenu. It's a bop. I had a little Casio. Maybe I'll put a little clip of it. That was maybe the funnest. That was my favorite memory of being forced to be inside. Ooh. What a surreal time to be like. I premiered a movie on HBO. I won a Tony Award, and I did it all like from my couch. Like, what? Uh, I'm not complaining, but it just like what a weird, like so weird, like literally the peak of my career, height of my career, and I'm on my couch. Like it's what? Oh my god, it's so weird. What a time. Okay, anyway, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the next question. Okay, someone asked about, oh, what if I make playlists to like music playlists to indulge specific moods or songs to help pull me out of funks and give me a little joy. Someone else asked me recently, like, what albums have you been listening to a lot? And I have such a kind of boring answer. My album. I've been working on this album. I have a solo music project called Boys Don't Fight. I've been working on this album for years, and over the last year or so, I've dove into it, and I don't know when exactly the full album will come out, but I'm working with an incredible mixer to finish up the album and get it all done. Yeah, it's closer than it's ever felt. But when I'm working on my own music, I really don't listen to a lot of other stuff. But I will say, if there is some kind of go-to music or, playlist or something that I go to just to play and have a good time, it's WWOC. It is our local radio station here in New Orleans. It's a listener-supported radio station. They've got some great DJs. DJ Soul Sister is an incredible DJ. She has a show every Saturday called The Soul Power Show. You could listen to it online for free, wwoz.org. Check it out. Some great tunes, great music. Okay, and then they ask, what do I think about fashion brands continuing to get away with exploiting garment workers and greenwashing their image instead, especially considering how people apparently bought more during the pandemic. As we all know, if you're here, you probably know how pervasive consumerism is and how some people turn to it, especially in like dark times in their lives. We see companies like Amazon making millions and billions of dollars at a time when most of the country isn't working. Like, if you weren't already clued into how imbalanced and ridiculous the system of consumerism and capitalism is in our country, let alone the world, you probably are now. You're probably more aware of it now. So I guess that's my I have an optimistic view of that revelation, hopefully, that most folks experienced. On a very practical level, I did personally make some kind of anti-consumerist green choices, which I could do in a little mini anti-haul. I anti-hauled some things. Someone else asked me, if I could expand my anti-hauls outside of makeup. Happy to. These are a couple things I just stopped buying altogether. So first one is this, makeup wipes. I don't buy makeup wipes anymore. If you watch my beauty room tour, you see me talk about these rags that I have. I made like a little holder for these rags. It's just a towel that I cut up and finish the edges of. I thought I would miss it. It's been great. I've been having a great time. I throw them in the wash. Easy peasy. Save a couple of trees. Why not? Likewise, another thing that I don't need and I'm not going to buy, dryer sheets. I don't buy dryer sheets anymore. One day when I was looking through Black and Green, which is a website that features kind of green skincare and beauty and products from Black-owned brands, I found these wool dryer balls. Now, I've always known you can put tennis balls in your dryer, and I think I even had purchased like plastic balls or something from like Bed Bath & Beyond at one point to, soften your clothes in your dryer. But I found these and there's something about them was so aesthetically pleasing. And, the tennis balls, you always get that burnt rubber smell when you throw them in. These are just beautiful wool balls. So I bought those like a year ago and I haven't used dryer sheets ever since. My clothes are nice and soft. It's lovely. I'm not throwing away whatever the heck dryer sheets are made of. Those chemicals and plastics and whatever going into landfills. I'm happy to not be doing that anymore. That's lovely. Huzzah. What else do I not need and I'm not gonna buy? Oh, this was like my holy grail makeup remover. The Clinique Take the Day Off Balm. I used it every night after American Utopia on Broadway. It was like my go-to makeup remover. And I remember at one point I was just like, is this not just coconut oil? Like, it really... The other week I was like, I did a little makeup test and I just used coconut oil to take my makeup off. It worked. Surprise, it worked. So, hi, my new makeup remover is coconut oil. It's not this. I don't need it, I'm not gonna buy it. I mean, which is good, because that's like $38. It's not a cheap jar of Vaseline. There. Ugh, am I a fool? Am I gonna break out? What's gonna happen? I mean, my skin was fine. I kind of paid attention to it. Nothing seemed bad. Does anyone else out there use coconut oils to remove their makeup? If you do, how does it work in the long run? I'm gonna be doing like 40 weeks of shows. I'm gonna be using a lot of it, so I really would like something that doesn't destroy my face. Anyway, let me know. But until then, I don't need this expensive Clinique stuff. Sorry. Ooh, it's what I'm not gonna buy. It's just some things that I'm not gonna buy. That's what I've been very lightly working on the What I'm Not Gonna Buy theme song. We'll see. Someday. We'll see. That's another huge thing that's happened to me. Okay, I've got the Q's. I've also got A's. Let's just get into, I'm just gonna say some A's. One of the biggest things that I learned about myself during this time, and maybe you have learned something similar to this, and it is to the chagrin of all systems and industries and everything that I have been taught is important in terms of like hustle and art making and whatever. I need time. I need time. And a lot of time to make good art. I'm on YouTube. I'm a drag queen on YouTube. A lot of people call this content. I'm a content creator. Yes, I consider these videos, you know, and the work that I do here more like art. I'm just not constantly putting things out there. I really want the things that I say to be considered, and I really want to be able to stand behind them for all eternity. And frankly, I am fast. I could make really fast work, really fast content, really fast music, fast sound design, all this stuff. And it's good. It's great. I'm really good at it. I've been really good at it. I didn't know how good I could get, though. I had been meeting an efficiency bar, and I didn't realize that there was like a quality bar that I also had. And that if I allowed myself to take more time, just so much more time to do these things, like I thought I was making good stuff before, but when I just allowed myself to take time to make things, and out of the necessity of like, everything was turned upside down, no one knew what to do, and there was a lot more kind of leeway and room to kind of experiment with like having more open structures for things. What a wonderful gift to like learn how to be able to separate the quality of my work from my output, like the quantity of my output. Revolutionary revelation. Okay, wow. Oh, and then someone asked about the hooves. Here are my hooves. They're a little fuzzy. Oh yeah, they're covered in fuzz from my carpet, but they're hooves. It's just like a high heel shoe without the heel, and then a hoof, and then like a stock. I wore these in a show for one of my roles in a piece called The Securely Conferred Vouchsafed Keepsakes of Mary S. It's a kind of sci-fi, horror, epic, fantasy play about Mary Shelley, Bigfoot, and the state of arts funding in America. I was mentioning like some of these projects that I did, that some of the best work I ever did where I was able to take so much time. This was one of them. We're about to, in October 31st is when it premieres. We will have like a kind of stop motion film version. But during 2020, we created this radio play version of this piece that I was able to fully edit and sonically stage. I also voiced some characters in it. This is the costume of a character called the Daemona Ceramici, the little demon character that sings and plays piano. Oh, it's a musical too, of course. Written and directed by Sybil Kempson, a genius! She also plays the villain in the piece, Lady Doris Duke. It's thrilling. The radio play will come, it was available, it's not available anymore. It will come back. It's 4.5 hours long. It was such a learning curve. I really had never done something, you know, I'm used to theatrical sound design, which is relatively fast and dirty. And it's, you know, very mutable. Like you kind of, hold on. You know, you're constantly changing things in the room, etc. But with something like either like a film or a radio play or a podcast or something, it's static, it doesn't change. And the fact that we decided to do this as like an immersive radio play, so it's meant to be listened to on headphones. It's binaural, which means that there is kind of left and right, so you feel like you're in a 360-degree space when you're listening to it.
Hecate, Hecate, Isis even.
Ow! My fingers! Mary, come back here! Mary, come back here with that box! Mary!
I'm gushing about it even though it's something that I made. I'm just so impressed with it. And when it comes back and when it is available again for you to listen, please, I encourage you to check it out. I'm very, very proud of it. It's some of the best work that I've done. I'm really excited about that. Anyway, so that's where the hooves are from. I had to do a lot of green screening on my own. If you're out there and you're like a performer or a drag queen or any kind of performer, I mean, I'm sure this past year you've had to do so many things that you've never thought you would have to do. Like you're a lighting designer now, you're a camera person, you're a green screen. And I love it's like everyone is getting a taste of like what us YouTubers have done for years. Like we're editing our own stuff, we're filming everything, we're setting everything up, we're making the shot list, we're doing the schedule, we're recording the sound, we're mixing it, we're posting, like, now you know. Now you know! So similarly, just talking about inspiration, someone asked, what's kicking your gears right now? I'll tell you, it's this book, this incredible book by Sarah Schulman. It's called Let the Record Show. It is a history of ACT UP, which is an organization that basically changed the game for people with AIDS. Started in the late 80s, early 90s. Basically, the reason that the AIDS epidemic was able to have been controlled to the degree that it was in America is because of activists from ACT UP. Furthermore, so when people are talking about how these vaccines came out too fast and everything this year, nah. The reason that we have vaccines that we have today for COVID, basically a lot of the COVID vaccines are developments of what people were working on for HIV vaccines 30 years ago, right? I mean, Anthony Fauci's all over this book. If the first time you heard about Anthony Fauci was because a Fox News anchor told you he was the devil or something, girl, you have missed a whole bunch of history because that man, and you know, he's not painted in the best godly light in this book. A lot of people have a lot of opinions about him. But it is undeniable what his role was in helping change the face of AIDS in opposition to the Reagan administration, which was, as you may or may not know, not very helpful for people with AIDS. They were in denial that it even existed because the only people dying supposedly were gay men, and so no one cared about them. Anyway, this has been so inspiring to me. If you're interested in how we got here, and more importantly, which is something that Sarah Schulman makes incredibly clear in this book, if you're interested in moving society further forward, if you want to do more, if you want to get shit done, this is a manual for you. ACT UP was an organization that had a very small membership. Their largest event was 7,000 people, and they fundamentally changed law and policy. They were incredibly successful for who they were and what they did at the time they were doing it. And it's a handbook for any social justice movement, any human rights movement, anyone that is trying to create change in the face of a kind of less than ideal, potentially oppressive society. This is, it's so exciting to kind of to see this and to read and understand this history in such an in-depth way. And her writing is incredible. It's really, I'm only like 180 pages in, but it's getting my gears turning. That's inspired me to like put on this wig and talk to you, like come back to this fold and reconnect to this audience because hi, we matter. This is important, actually. I don't know if you knew that. It's important that we're here right now. It is. Okay. All right, I guess we should do this one. Let's get this one out of the way too. So someone asked just my take on major stuff going on in the world right now. I mean, there's nothing else to really talk about other than vaccines, right? I mean, this is like, we got to talk about this just because, as I said, I'm in a show that's about to go back to Broadway. We're about to open up again. The Broadway League, which is the kind of organization that runs all the theaters and everything, they along with the unions, have said that everyone seeing a Broadway show in New York this fall has to show proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test within the last 72 hours or a negative rapid test within the last 6. So if you're under 12 or you have children under 12, you can bring them to a Broadway show. You just have to make sure they have a negative test result. But also everyone has to wear a mask. Bruce Springsteen opened his show last month in the same theater as us, and there were anti-vax protesters holding signs that said equal rights now and chanting, end segregation, end segregation. Like, I just want to express gratitude for everyone that has been vaccinated. I want to express gratitude to every doctor that developed the vaccine over the last year, over the last decades. I want to thank everyone that was able to help get us to a place where we now can, if we all do our part, maybe turn this pandemic around. It's allowing me to have a job. I'm going to be able to work in the fall. And I have a whole other video kind of regarding that. So let's just go. I'll do a little story time about my vaccine experience. We had signed up for like a kind of list of people, notifying when appointments were available at this one healthcare provider here in New Orleans. And when there were appointments available, we were able to go get them. We got the one and done Johnson & Johnson like several days before they put like a brief pause on it. It's a little unnerving at the time, but of course I understand that like the reason that pause was put on was a cautionary one, and they lifted it for as equal and important a reason that they deemed it safe enough and that it's actually safer to get vaccinated versus risk getting COVID, etc. I had a really strong reaction to the vaccine. I had a 102-degree fever for several days, and then I really wasn't myself for like 2 weeks, I would say. Now, that was scary, of course, when it was happening, but I had, like I said, we got vaccinated at a healthcare provider. They were really great about informing us about what the realm of side effects was. How to distinguish, reactions that your body's supposed to have. When you get a vaccine, you're developing antibodies, so your body might have an immune response. That kind of immune response reaction versus like an allergic reaction. So I knew I wasn't having an allergic reaction. I knew I was just having a very strong immune response, which was awful. It really felt bad. If that was just even like a fraction of what it's like to have COVID, then yeah, I'll take as many pokes as I can get. And my husband did not have that same reaction. He had like a day of kind of feeling blech. But yeah, like I knew that it was all within the realm of a typical reaction. And frankly, after I was through all of it, I felt great because I know after having that reaction that my body did develop some kind of immunity. Like I had an immune response. So I know something changed, something went down. That actually made me feel better. I don't know, I'm just sharing that experience in like a really kind of boring, non-sensational way because I feel like we only hear about these really horrible horror stories of people getting vaccinated and stuff, and no one ever talks about their kind of like regular experience, and I think that's just as important. So I'm telling you mine. So let's check my eyes. Ugh. The lashes are marching to beats of their own drums. They're on different trajectories. Okay. Did I buy any? I did buy some things. Someone asked if I bought any new nail polishes. I actually did. I just recently got some of these colors. They're a little chipped because, you know, I use my hands and I do things. These are some colors from Brooklyn Polished, which is a black-owned nail polish brand that I've talked about before on this channel. Here, let me grab the new colors that I got. I love this brand. It was created by Ariel Terry from Brooklyn, from Bed-Stuy. And so the names of her polishes are like Brooklyn themed. I used to live in Bed-Stuy. I used to live over on Stuyvesant Avenue. So I was really tickled when I saw that there was a peach nail polish named Peaches. Peaches is an incredible restaurant over in Bed-Stuy. Oh, incredible soul food. And then this one is called Bread-Stuy, this orange. Bread-Stuy was a really amazing coffee shop that I used to love. And it closed down years ago. Anyway, I just love that her nail polish names like reflect like small businesses in Brooklyn. Just like fully up my alley. And the quality of these polishes is, yes, so good. So I've got the peach one is Peaches and the orange is Bread-Stuy. They also ask if I got any kind of spin-offs or opportunity from doing the David Byrne gig. So like I said, I did a Broadway show, I did a world tour before that, and then we were in a film, it's on HBO, it's screened on the beach at Cannes. Like, my face has been out there, people. Did I get any spin-offs? The biggest thing I got was an agent. I signed with an agent. Up until this past year, I was not represented. I was representing myself. My agent, her name's Rachel. She's incredible. It's been a game changer for me. I like when I had my first meeting with her, I cried just because I'd never had someone just so clearly in my corner. She's not, this wasn't like she's just going to do one contract for me. Like I'm her client now. Like we're going to work together for a while and she wants me to work. Like I always said about like American Utopia, like that's Chris's gig, not Kim's gig. But Kimberly's like a big part of my life and my performance, and Rachel's into it. She's like, we had a couple of meetings where we've talked about various ideas. Just if you're worried that I was like on some weird kind of takeoff to some kind of success and I was leaving this queen behind, not happening. She is along for the ride. We are attached at the wig. What do you think Kimberly should do? Like what TV show? Should she host a TV show? Should she do a travel blog? What should she do? You know what I would love to be is like one of those people that pops up on like airplane screens to like talk about cuisine. Let's speak that into existence. Okay, someone asks, why would you never go on Drag Race? Because I mentioned that in my beauty room tour. This is the part that people watch in the drag queen videos from RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm never going to be on that show, so I figure this is my chance. I've said that in a lot of capacities over the years for lots of reasons. It used to be like about control of my image and stuff. Like I've said, my YouTube channel is mine. I have full control over the editing, etc. And I guess it's like that with Drag Race a little bit still, but it's also, that show's not made for me. I mean, the whole reality competition TV show thing aside, which also maybe my tolerance for high stress situations has decreased over this past period of isolation, but also, I mean, I'm not a seamstress. I've wanted to sew more. I've wanted to, design more outfits. I've been doing that a little bit, but not enough like that. Some of these incredible queens, like Simone, when she won, I was like, this is the perfect person to win Drag Race because she represents all of the facets of the kind of drag that RuPaul is interested in showcasing on that show. She comes from a house, a group of people made her, and she's super aware of that. Like, she represents the ethos, frankly, in a kind of more pure way of a lot of the ideas that RuPaul has kind of lifted from other drag communities, than the show even does. Like, House of Avalon is like a real drag house. I think RuPaul has been interested in taking those tropes, but it's nice to see someone that really embodies that kind of have a platform because of it. I appreciate that, and I love the way that the show has platformed certain queens like that we wouldn't have encountered in any other way other than that. But no, I'm not in line really with that show or reality TV in that capacity, I guess. Yeah. Also, I used to always joke the worst part about going on Drag Race is that you have to sing one of RuPaul's songs. Am I burning all the bridges? What's happening?
I'm Kim Clark and I'm not sponsored. Anastasia thinks I'm a monster. And yeah, that's how you say it, that's how you pronounce her name. I know more about this makeup shit than Miss fucking Fame.
So finally, okay, this will be a segue into my next video. One of my patrons asks, as a musician and performer, how has this past year plus been for you? Have you adjusted or not to staying home? What other outlets have you had, etc.? Remember when I finished tour back in 2018, I went from having thousands and thousands of people, you know, cheering every night for me on stage to just my husband and my cat, who I love, and they're incredibly supportive of me. The cat, not so much, but the husband all the time. You know, Broadway was a different bag. It was exciting, but it was different than tour, of course. But again, it was this epic amount of energy, and it was such a high. And then, you know, to have the film come out in the middle of all of this, it's been so surreal. It's really made me, I'm so excited to go back on stage. I'm a performer, you know, my high school music teacher recently passed away, Miss Stevie Rivers Rawlings. She was such an incredible woman. She really shaped me among a couple of other awesome people into like the performer that I am. And one of the things that she always said to me was, you know, if you can do anything else, do it. If you can bear to do anything other than perform, do it. And I did. I tried to do other things for a while, for various periods of time, etc. Took a lot of different paths. But I can't not perform. There's something in me that really thrives. I am my truest, most exciting, passionate self when I am performing, when I'm on stage, and when I'm in a room with other live people. I will never take that for granted ever again. And I'm just happy to be able to return to the stage. And I'll see you all soon out there. Please come. Tickets are on sale. Go get them. Get vaccinated. Bring your mask. It's going to be a fun show. I think that is my update. I think that is... I don't think I was as funny or witty as I've been in previous videos. And I think that's fine. If you're not subscribed to my channel already by this point, if you made it this far, just go subscribe. Come on, who are you kidding? Thank you all for being here, for watching. Thanks for sticking with me. 70,000 of you stuck around this whole goddamn time. Thank you. I love you. Thank you for being here. And I hope that you're healthy and safe. I wish you the best. I'm Kimberly Clark. Bye.